Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Glad to see you here. Come on in the room. Come on in, everybody. Great to have you with us. You can see I'm not alone today. I'm sitting here with my guest, Dan Glazer of Alpha Biocentric's company, and I'll be introducing you more formally in a moment, Dan. First, I'm going to introduce myself in case there's anybody here who doesn't know who I am. You might be watching this on YouTube for the first time and just happened to stumble, or maybe somebody said you should listen to this on Alpha Biocentrics, and these bioenergy discs and these devices that help deal with 5G and Wi-Fi and all of that, and they pass it on to you, but you don't know who I am. So I'm going to tell you, I am Becky Montrone. I am a holistic healthcare practitioner certified through the American Association of Drugless Practitioners. I have a degree in holistic nutrition. I'm also a full-fledged herbalist. And so here at Wondrous, which is my practice, also make hundreds of herbal products, from topical things for whatever ails you to our full skincare line and all kinds of things. So that's who I am. We are in Keene, New Hampshire. And if you're familiar with Keene, New Hampshire, in downtown Keene, we're one of the major corridors right off Central Square on Roxbury Street, third floor of the Miller Forge building. We are open 9:30 to 5, Monday through Friday. Our number here is 603-439-2603. And you can also reach out to me from my website, wondrousroots.org. Go contact us and shoot me a message. That comes to my private email. Nobody else in our practice sees that, and I will respond to you. So happy to have you all here. Glad you're interested in natural health. Glad you're proactive in supporting your health through natural means. And one of them that I got super excited about, this was actually, so I'm going to introduce Dan Glazer. Dan is my representative with a company called Alpha Biocentrics, otherwise known as AB Centrics. And I was put in touch, I was asked about their products by Allison Millar, who some of you know. She's a local acupuncturist. She's really fantastically wonderful. And she said another of her colleagues was using these with her patients and asked me if I knew anything about them and what my opinion was. So that, of course, I went snooping and I found Alpha Biocentrics, and I was super excited with what I found. And I quickly got in touch with Dan Glazer. And off we went. And that was in 2020, back in July of 2020. No, 2020. Oh, wow. Yes, I was looking. And we've been 3 years. And you've been a guest on my radio program 3 times. So this is your fourth time being gracious enough to let me pick your brain and dialogue with you for my benefit, as well as those of our attendees and those who will be viewing later. So thank you for coming on, Dan.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yeah. So anyway, what I want you to do, and okay. So those of you who are here in attendance, what I want to tell you again is, if you want to ask a question, you can raise your hand and you can do it verbally, or you can type it in the chat. Down at the bottom, you will see chat. Down at the bottom, you will see Q&A. You can type it in there, and I'm monitoring that, so I will be able to see if you are wanting to chime in, because this is a great, wonderful time for you to be able to ask Dan your questions. People have a lot of questions about these discs because they just seem strange when you explain to people, oh, you put it on your left shoulder and emits these frequencies, and your central nervous system can use the energy it uses, and it doesn't use the rest, and it's all safe and wonderful. And and you change it every 4th day, and that kind of thing. So I know people have questions. So I think the biggest question, Dan, is like, what are these? What is the origin of the science behind them, and how are they programmed, and why do they work?
Oh, okay. Well,
3 questions.
I should take one off and show it.
Yeah.
Right here. So these patches, first of all, these patches are programmed with carbon crystalline. there is no metal in this patch. Carbon absorbs energy more efficiently than any other material, and the crystalline delivers it. Our bodies are carbon, the patch have carbon crystalline, so it improves the synchronization between the body and the patch. And on the back, we have 3M medical skin adhesive. And I believe we're the only patch with this. This is the same adhesive that goes on Band-Aids. So it's very, very safe for the skin. So we have 3 bioengineers that actually work for us. They actually used to work for the federal government. They know everything about energetic healing and protecting you from EMR, energetic weaponry, EMR, EMF, dangerous EMR, EMF frequencies.
I like the way you term that, weaponry.
Yeah. Well, that's what they do. They work for the. I think, in fact, they're doing something for them now, but I'm not sure. But anyway, I think I heard that. Anyway, so they create our signatures. Each patch contains several different signatures specific for a condition, and we have about over 60 different patches for 60 different conditions as a complementary therapy. We're not a replacement for any main therapy, whether traditional or alternative. We don't replace it, we complement it. With that said, though, there are, if you're a chiropractor and acupuncturist, they don't treat a certain thing. Well, we have a patch for it they can use. So each patch are programmed with signatures that for a specific condition. When you put the patch on the body, the energy field of the body absorbs the frequencies or the energetic, but only if needed. Then the body replicates the frequencies, so the body aids in healing itself, but again, with your main therapies coming first. How we program it's called an AFG accelerator. We put this in this accelerator, we close it, and we put the patches in there, and we push a button, and you hear, and it becomes totally airtight vacuumed. So when we program, they're very, very pure. And and when I say signatures, these are signatures for certain conditions, and we put program in the signatures, and then we program them. And basically, it's all frequencies that are natural to the human body. So what we're doing is providing a re-education to the energy field of the body. We're taking the energy field back to school. So we generally say start with 3, no more than 4 different patch therapies, because we are providing a re-education. So if you do too many more than that, it would be like having a little child in 1st grade and having 8 different teachers talk at once. Their body just isn't going to learn it all. So we want to try to limit it to 3 before at the most.
Okay, now let me go back. All right, so you said some key things there that are super interesting. Signatures. Now I know like in the ultra joint patch, for instance, you have signatures of glucosamine and chondroitin. Right. In the mitocell patch, you have signatures of, goodness, you've got pomegranate, you've got Q10, you have every 4 forms of magnesium, you have glutathione, N-acetylcysteine, you have just about every mitochondrial boosting nutrient known to man. And this is what you mean by signatures, correct?
Yeah. And when you see we have patches and it lists what's in it, like our weight loss patch has 5 fat burners, Hoodia frequency, apple cider vinegar frequencies, detoxifiers, and thyroid frequencies, because we asked them to put those in there. So with the AOX antioxidant, we asked them to put those things in there. So we know those are in there. If it's a patch they develop for it, usually it's just numbers that their signatures. Yeah, the things you just mentioned are signatures with specific names. But some patches, they put the signatures in, so we don't have a specific name, but they know that signature number is good for that condition.
Okay, so let's take, for example, the motion sickness patch. Now, because I want to tell you, like, if people are skeptical about these patches, they work. And they work, especially in the ones that work immediately for something that's really acute, like nausea. Right. Or stress and anxiety, which you might say, well, that's a little bit more subjective unless you're the person with the stress and anxiety and you just know. But what I will say about that is we've seen that work. My husband actually we took the train. We took Amtrak down to Philly from Brattleboro, Vermont, and back to see our daughter for a weekend over Columbus Day weekend. And he's fine on a plane reading and doing close work on the computer, but on a train or, in a car, no. When he wears these patches, he's fine. He can do anything he wants on the train. But I had a woman in she came in, she was visiting her sister, and she said, for the past few months, I feel nausea every day. And I said, well, do you have anything for that? And I said, well, you should have that checked out. I mean, it might be your gallbladder or something's going on that you shouldn't be having nausea every day if there's not a reason for it. And, but I said they were going to be gone for 3 days. I said, try these motion sickness patches, because they help with pregnancy nausea. And I'll explain that too. They help with other forms of nausea. Well, she came back 3 days later and said, wow, this works. And not only that, but she does have a bad case of motion sickness, and she can't go on her husband's boat. And she's like, now I can do anything. Right. So we know they work when we see those profound things. I had a woman with pretty severe pregnancy nausea, and the motion sickness patch worked. I had somebody with tinnitus, and it does not work every time for tinnitus, but for some people it does. So that's like what I would say is,
Yeah.
But I want to go back to something else you said, Dan. And that is, you said that these frequencies, okay, so they impact us and they're correcting things or something to that effect. They are adjusting things within our system, providing like a correction of sorts.
It's re-educating the energy field of the body, then the body replicates it. So we're non-transdermal.
So you're not, yeah.
Non-transdermal. So when the patch is put on, we re-educate the energy field of the body. And the energy field only absorbs the frequencies it needs. If there's frequency in the patch it doesn't need, it won't absorb them. Then the body replicates it. So the body aids in healing itself.
So let me ask you this. If that is the case, and some people ask me this, and I think you've said that this is true in some cases, a person might have maybe a lifelong problem with stress and anxiety, daily stress and anxiety. If they use this patch for, I don't know, say a couple of months, will the patch help re-educate the energy field so eventually they no longer need that patch?
Well, that's the goal. I mean, we're a 1 to 3 month therapy. I just got a call from a naturopath the other day here in Atlantis. He said, this stress patch is amazing. And the only way the patch really doesn't work, it's just not the patch you need.
Yeah.
And now there's another thing that can block all therapies, including the patches. That's mycoplasma and biofilms, but we have patches for those. So anyone, if you have a therapies you're doing that just aren't working, try them on a mycoplasma and a biofilm patch. Clear those out because they block biofilms and mycoplasma block circulation and healing, oxygen, nutrients, everything. You get rid of those, all therapies work better. So, but generally, if a patch doesn't work, it's just not what they need.
Yeah. Let me interrupt because we do have somebody wanting to speak. Joe, can you hear me?
I can.
And we can hear you. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. I just finally figured out how to get this thing going, and I wanted to let you know that you are coming through loud and clear. And I wanted to try and make sure that you could hear me. I don't have any particular questions.
Okay.
But I did want to let you know that it is working.
Okay, great. So for those of you who've been with me since the start, thanks, Joe. Since we started doing this on Zoom, Joe had the hardest time. And Joe was like one of my top chief radio listeners and participants. He would often call. And I was just heartbroken that we couldn't get Joe on here. And that problem has now been solved. Yay. And so, well, I'm just very, very happy to have him back. What I wanted to say is you said, Dan, about transdermal. It's not transdermal. And I do explain that to people because you can get topical patches that you put on your skin and they deliver nutrients or what have you into your bloodstream. This is not what happens with these. And what I love about this, like, let me talk about one that I really love, Dan, and that is the Thyroid Plus, because thyroid problems are very the thyroid hormone function in the body is very complicated. And it requires not just that you have enough thyroid hormone, it has to do with whether your body can use the thyroid hormone properly. And it's very difficult sometimes to get that right in the medical world. And I'm not saying don't do your thyroid medicine, but do this instead. I'm saying do this with your medicine, do this with your nutrients like your iodine and selenium and glutathione that I would put you on. You would do this because it's going to do things for you. Like I put it on, I don't have a thyroid problem, but say I did. If I put that one on my shoulder, it's going to take what's going on with my T4 production from the thyroid gland, then that conversion to T3, then locking that T3 into the receptors of the thyroid hormone receptors throughout the body where I need them. And it's different in everybody. And you know what? It's really hard. If you saw your top endocrinologist, it would be super hard to figure out what's exactly going on with you and all of those thyroid hormones. And we have, this is one of our very popular discs, Dan, because people just respond to it really well. And it's because it's so individualized to the person.
It did tremendously for me, the thyroid. Years ago, I was on thyroid medication and I couldn't tolerate any of it. Again, we don't replace the thyroid medication, but I just couldn't tolerate it. And when I first started working for the company, they flew me down to Texas for a show. And I said, you should have just bought me a one-way ticket. They go, why? I said, my heart is palpitating on my chest, my left arm hurts. And they said, well, we need to have you talk to a doctor. So we took me down the show. A doctor used our patches. He said, well, she said, what medication are you on? And I said, well, I'm on thyroid medication. And the thyroid medication was causing a lot of anxiety, which is a typical side effect of some thyroid medications. And so I told him I have all this anxiety. I don't have any depression, just anxiety. So he put me on Zoloft. That made it 10 times worse. Oh. So I was putting on it 6 months. So the doctor we talked to, he said, listen, wean yourself off the Zoloft. If you've not been on it very long, just, take little bits. 2 weeks I got off of it. You don't want it ever over this cold turkey Zoloft. It's dangerous.
Right.
And they put me on the stress and anxiety patch and a thyroid patch. And I was like a new man. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I will tell you this. I don't know what supplements you carry, but you probably have one comparable. So I took the thyroid plus patch and standard process Thytrophin.
Okay.
And I just had just went for a physical. Everything is fine.
Nice.
Except I'm a little low on vitamin D. But that thyroid patch was amazing. Is amazing. I didn't realize that you were having that good of results from. That's tremendous.
Oh yeah, yeah. In fact, my first experience with it was a woman said she put it on, and the next day she felt so much better. Now she had felt a lot better and lost a lot of weight and was having good improvement on her thyroid situation. And then we tried this, and she was like, "Oh wow, I feel like my old self. I feel like my normal self." And so she, in the office she was working in, a couple of days later, somebody she was working with said, "Oh my gosh, I'm just always so tired. I just, I get home, all I want to do is go to bed." And my client said to her, "Well, try one of these," and gave her one, right? And she came back the next day and said, "I can't believe it. I went home. I caught up on stuff I was supposed to do. I did some laundry and I did some paperwork, financial stuff I needed to do for my mother. But normally I just don't. I just go home and drag myself to the couch." And looks like we have another comment or question. Oh, yes. We have a question, Dan. Do you still need the patch, the Thyroid Plus patch?
I don't believe I do. But just out of precaution, I put one on a week.
One a week?
Yeah, I just do one a week out of being used to doing it. But if I don't need it, the energy field won't. That was a very good question.
Yeah.
The energy field won't do it. So I just do one a week just for precaution, but everything's fine.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Can people do that? Can people use patches less frequently than the one change every fourth day?
I had been on it so long.
Yeah.
That I just put it down. I was longer than 3 months because so yes, they can, but I would at least stay on it 3 months, 1 to 3 months. But listen, they're welcome to scan. It won't hurt them.
Right. But that's, I think, very good information. And I really
I have some other information for, I don't know if you've done this. So generally, like you asked about the stress patch, do they have to stay on it forever? Well, stress is so subjective. There's just no way of telling. But it's one that they could use when they need it. But let me explain this to you. So say you've had a patient that's been on 3 different patches for 3 months. You don't think they need it anymore, but they don't want to be without it. We have these quantum energy bracelets. They're not a replacement for the patch because the patch is what provides the re-education of the energy field. But we have these quantum energy bracelets. A common one we sell is a 316 L. We can program those 3 frequencies therapies into that bracelet. They can just wear that. That's the biggest use that quantum energy bracelet comes in for.
Okay, so let me review that so that I understand it, and so that my our attendees do, and our viewers later, our listeners. All right. So what you're saying is you've worn these. Okay, say you're wearing maybe you're wearing the nerve stim and the pain and inflammation, and maybe the inflammation disorder patch or something, because you've got something going on, maybe an autoimmune or something like that, and you wear them for 3 months. Then what you're saying is now that you've worn these for 3 months and you have re-educated your energy system, your central nervous energy system, then people can have a bracelet
Right.
Programmed with those three.
Yeah, they're afraid without them. Yeah.
And it will reinforce the re-education that your body already had.
It's not the primary therapy. The primary therapy is the patches. It provides re-education. The bracelet's a complement. So say you had someone on a weight loss diet, you could put on the weight loss leptin patch, and you can put them on an appetite suppressant patch. And if you want to program those therapies into a bracelet, they can wear that along with the patches. It'll complement the patches for a severe case. So it's just a complementary therapy. And some people just don't want to be without a certain patch, but you feel they don't need it. You can put it into a bracelet for them.
Okay. But I would never tell somebody if they wanted to wear a patch, they're perfectly safe.
Or they continue with the patch.
Yeah.
It's
ahead.
not going to hurt them.
No. Wow. So one that I was really, you let me know about the brain heart. I also wanted to say while I'm thinking, because I didn't mention this in my newsletter, is that you also have discs for dogs.
Yes.
And those work great.
Very quickly, generally.
Yeah, and they work, and they're so. You need to change it. You put it on a dog tag, and it lasts 6 months. You get 2 in a pack. Yeah. I don't know, $30, something like that, and there you have a year's worth of. We got flea and tick. We have rejuvenator. We have allergy.
Calm.
What's that?
Calm and parasites.
Yeah, calm and parasites. And we get great feedback about these things. And this is a wonderful thing. I'm not saying it's going to take care of every varmint out there during the summertime or whatever, but definitely makes a difference. And owners notice that they have far fewer of those beasts to deal with.
That's kind of a different material. It's an ABS chip. That's why they can wear it 6 months. It has the dome on it, and so they can wear it 6 months at a time. But they generally work very quickly on pets. And pets seem to have less toxins than we do.
Yeah, I wonder why, right?
Yeah. But again, the main therapy is, going back to the bracelet, is the patches. That's the re-education of the energy field. But if you ever wanted to try, once their condition is addressed, if they ever want to try a bracelet, they can, or they can continue wearing the patch. Like I do with the thigh prep patch, I do 1 a week. Yeah.
So I've never carried or done anything with the bracelets, but those would have to be like custom done.
Yeah, those are custom done.
Yeah.
But again, most 99%, 95% we sell are patches.
Yeah.
What's the most popular bracelet we have are the 5G blocker bracelets. That's the most popular.
Yeah. And in fact, before we go into some of these other patches, let's go on to that right now. And that is the 5G blocking, and as well, the new, relatively new negative ion 5G blocking pendant.
You got yours on? I have mine on.
I don't have mine on, but we don't have 5G in New Hampshire, and I don't suffer from anything that I feel I constantly need this necklace, but I know a lot of people who do. You
don't have any 5G in New Hampshire?
No 5G. I mean, we have 4G and we've got 3G. We've got that we've got 5G ready towers. But I will tell you, New Hampshire was the state that did this big study and found we were very concerned about the health effects of 5G. And of course,
Right.
There's plenty of advocacy in New Hampshire to go ahead with 5G, but we don't have it in this state at the moment.
Oh, good. Okay.
Everything's 5G ready. Things are 5G ready. I have a 5G internet connection here, but it's
Right.
5G ready, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
So
in fact, I put the little, I have the little 5G. We have Bluetooth earpieces, pieces that block 5G, 4G, 3G that go on Bluetooth, and we have the chips, but I put one on each on my iWatch. I even have one on my iWatch.
I've never seen those. I didn't know you had
Let me
those.
see if I can show it to you just 1 second. Yeah, it's for
How come I don't-
they're Bluetooth earpieces. They're called the EMR Defenders, and so you could primarily for Bluetooth earpieces, but I'm real super sensitive to Bluetooth. It makes me nauseous, so I can't use my iPhone without it. I'm just trying to get off here.
I didn't know you had those, Dan.
Yeah, we have the EMR.
I'll be ordering
you knew
on
about the phone
Monday.
chips, right? You knew about the phone chips.
I know we do the
smart
phone chips. Yeah, we have the phone chips.
Yeah.
And I have the bracelets and I have the pendant, but I don't see my phone chip right there.
Yeah, I cannot talk on the phone. Let me see if I can hold this up. I don't know if you can see. Can you see it? It's the
You gotta come more in front of you and up by your chin. Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then I put it on I kind of taped it on the corner of I have one right here on the corner of my iPhone right here.
Okay.
Rather, I can't talk on it without it. I just get nauseous.
And people can put that on their smartwatches and stuff?
Yeah, they got it. Yeah, you can put it right under. I put it right underneath and it still charges. I had two, so I put two on here, but it's not necessary. One is fine.
I didn't even know about these. I think that these are, and I'm going to be using these with Christmas
I didn't
gifts.
realize you did. Yeah, they're tremendous. Like,
Yeah,
for
I mean,
instance,
yeah.
if I don't have the Smart Shield on my watch, my left eye will start hurting. And if the microwave is going and I walk by it, my left eye will hurt. And so I always have a Smart Shield on, and the 5G negative ion pendant, et cetera.
Tell us about that. Tell us about the negative ion slant on what's with the negative ions.
Well, the negative ion pendant kind of changed my life. So when I would watch the news, with all the negative news, I internalized it terribly. And that pendant has changed my life because negativity and 5G drains your negative ions. And of course, we get negative. So the negative ion pendant contains, it blocks 5G, 4G, 3G, and contains 2,000 negative ions. We need negative ions, very importantly. When you take a shower, when you go to the beach and hear the ocean, and when you hear rain, that's delivering negative ions for you. That's why you feel calmer during those times. You have to. So this pendant has changed my life. I just don't. And even better than the news, family doesn't bother me anymore. The family say anything, it doesn't bother me anymore. It's really a tremendous product. Now, where people notice the difference is when they get into a stressful situation, then they notice the difference. They may not notice anything right off the bat, but when they're in a stressful situation, work, et cetera, that's when they notice how it works.
Wow.
And 5G, 4G, 3G drains your negative ions. So it's very important.
I think that is so, and honestly, we know some people who are particularly vulnerable, and they're the ones. But anyway, we have a comment here. My issue is that since I've started with Becky, I've been working out, which usually helps all my issues: anxiety, fatigue, sleep issues, etc. So I'm currently working out 3 to 4 times a week now, and feeling great. Your supplements or my exercise? I don't know. Any comments about determining results? Thanks. So I guess that question is for me. It has to be what I recommended, Bob. You just know that, right? Exercise helps, but it's not the main therapy. It's me. Yeah. I don't know. I would just say that's a good combination. That's a really good combination. Don't mess with success. Just keep on with both.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So,
we do have workout patches too.
well, what are those? Workout. Workout. patches.
Workout. We have a workout pouch. It helps. I actually took the power workout. The power workout is designed to enhance anabolic action and encourages hormones and neurotransmitters to support the body's ability to power up and recover quickly.
Oh, wow.
So that's the power workout.
I didn't see that one on your website. I'm going to write that one down. Hang on.
It's all in, it's under sports performance.
Oh,
it's
okay.
under golfers focus.
Yeah, they've got one for golfers. Okay.
The golfers focus. I have a chiropractor here in Atlanta. She carries every one of our patches, and she put there's one of the patient's golfer. He put that patch on. He forgot it was on, and he says the first time I've ever won a tournament. And he never beats his brother, and he beat his brother. So he wears it all the time, and he says even though we have an adult mental focus patch, he wears it for work. He says it's helped him with work.
Because that's what it's about, right? The golfer thing. It's not about the physical body. It's about the focus.
Focus. Yeah. Focus. And he just loves that patch. He says it's helped him at work, focus. And she's a big muscle tester. Most of our practitioners don't muscle test, but she's a huge, actually, she does something different than muscle test. She scans the body with the patches. I've never seen anything like it, but it's tremendously accurate.
Wow.
Well, one time I went to her. She was scanning my body with the pain and inflammation. She stopped right here. I had a jaw infection, a tooth infection. I didn't even tell her about. She stopped. Dan, you need this patch. She was 100% accurate.
Oh, so she's using kinesiology. She's using kinesiology. Yeah. Okay. Right. Whoa.
And he tested for needing the golf focus.
Wow.
But the adult focus is, most people use that, but some people scan for the golf focus. There's a little bit different frequencies in there. Yeah. These patches are amazing. I mean,
I know.
If you, like, for instance, I went out, we're in Henderson, Nevada. I went out to Henderson, right near Vegas, came back. I couldn't find my car at the Atlanta airport. They'd taken some signs down. I was looking for an hour for my car, finally found it. The next morning, all my toes were hurting. Now, if it was just one foot and my toes were hurting, that'd be fine. But when it's both feet, the toes are hurting. That's called, in chiropractic term, it's called subluxation. There's something going on. I said, oh my God, I've got fibromyalgia. I put that patch on. The next week, I was standing up like I was 20 years old. I called the office. What did you put in this patch? This is amazing. I was standing up like it was amazing.
Now, do you still wear that?
No, I don't need it.
Wow.
Most of the things people don't need, it's just a matter, like, for instance, the parasite patch. You can't get rid of parasites forever. So maybe once a year because you're always going to get infiltrated by parasites. So once a year, put a parasite patch on. Once a year, put a detox patch on, just as preventative. Yeah.
And you also have some guidelines about that. Like, we don't do that. Like if you're pregnant, we don't want to
the detox patch is you want to stay away while you're pregnant.
Basically detox in general if you're doing that. But also, this brings me to a good juncture to talk about if a patch is too strong, which in the case of if you're doing the candida patch or the parasite patch, you might be killing stuff off so quickly that you have what is known as the Herxheimer reaction.
Uh-huh.
And so then you say, because why the left shoulder in the first place is because that's the strongest.
Energy enters in on the left.
Yeah, energy enters in on the left. Yeah. Like, who knows that except now we do.
Yeah.
So you said if you put it on the right shoulder, it will bring the energy down by about 20%.
Exactly. So for instance, once in a while, not very often, but once in a while, someone will put a parasite patch on and they get a little agitated. Well, they get a little agitated because they have parasites in their brain, and the patch is agitating the parasites in the brain. But that's a good sign, not a bad sign. So you don't really want to stomp the patch. So if you want to have less discomfort, move it to the right shoulder for a week or so it'll tone it down a little bit.
Yeah. Another little trick we have to do sometimes is like, say we have got a child who really would benefit from the children's focus patch, but they're tactile. They have tactile issues and something on their shoulder bugs them. You've told me that you can actually put the patch like in the shoe.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to tone it down about 20%, but it works. I had it. In fact, I had a doctor, her patient, her husband did not want to wear the patches. So I don't know, I can't remember which patch it was, but she put it in his shoe, and that morning he says, I feel so much better. And because he wouldn't wear the patches, so he snuck one in her shoe. And his shoe. Yes, you could do that because autistic children, sometimes they don't like the feel of those. But yes, it'll work.
Yeah.
It tones it down about 20%.
Yeah. So there are ways to do it. And we've also talked about maybe pinning it on the shirt or something up on the left side of the body.
You can tape it. You can put it in a card and put it like on a little plastic card and put it right in the front pocket. All that will work. Yeah,
that's good to know. Very good to know.
Yeah.
And then also you were talking about how you use the thyroid patch like maybe once a week. Mm-hmm. And so you're just kind of reminding.
I probably don't even need it. I'm just so used to it.
Right, but you're kind of like, that's kind of like a reminder. So somebody could like do like the 1 to 3 months and then just go, now I'm going to just do this. And, that of course makes that easier on their budget too. Well,
like my last physical, I was a little borderline low thyroid, but this physical this year, it was fine. So I just continue with the patch.
Yeah.
It works. So it maintains things because I can't tolerate thyroid medication, but we're not saying replace your thyroid medication because that has to be closely regulated.
Yeah.
But it's just like the blood sugar patch. It's not going to cure diabetes, but it cleans up the diabetic functions in their components in their body so they function better. But it's not a replacement for insulin.
Right. Definitely a wonderful compliment.
And I was wearing that patch too.
Yeah.
Because I was going into I gained a little weight, so I was going into pre-diabetes. I'm not in anymore. Of course, it took weight off too.
Yeah.
And I continue wearing the blood sugar patch because of that.
Good.
One a week.
Yeah. Now, one that I really was intrigued by is the heart brain or the brain heart patch. And that, when you sent me info about that, I was very intrigued because this is for chronic fatigue and, Epstein-Barr, like reactivated Epstein-Barr, which can be really a horrible thing for somebody to experience.
It's different. And that could be a much longer therapy. That could be 6 months or more. Another patch good to put. So we have this patch called the Healing XL patch. The what? The Healing XL. The Healing XL.
Oh, yes. We have those,
That could be added as a fourth patch to any of the patches. So can the mitocell.
Yes.
The Healing XL energetically supports all the organs and is filled with rejuvenation frequency to boost all the other patches. So something like chronic fatigue, you would want to put the Healing XL with the brain heart because it's Epstein-Barr chronic fatigue are difficult.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
It's just like with shingles. We have an OLE patch for herpes.
Yes.
We just call it on that is shingles, and we had a doctor had internal shingles, which are devastating. And I wear, that's another patch. Shingles is so prevalent. I'm 66 years old. I don't particularly want to take the shot. We're not saying don't take the shot. I just wear the OLE.
I am. I said I am.
Well, there's nothing wrong. It's a safe shot. There's nothing wrong with taking the OLE patch. But one day, years ago, I remember I was having a little pain in my side and some itching on both sides. I said, I remember my father had shingles, and that was a symptom. I put that patch on and it just went away.
Let me tell you what that is. That is frequencies of olive leaf extract. That's
exactly
what OLE is. I was just telling my listeners.
And we had a doctor who had internal shingles. So he had to go on, and he was going to have to close his practice. So he went on 3 Healing XL, 3 OLE, and 3 pain every 3 days. It was so bad. But he was able to keep his business open because of it. He's fine now.
He put on 3 of each one.
Internal shingles is devastating.
Okay, but you can do that.
Yeah. You could put so with all the patches, you can put extra patches on. The ones you want to be careful of are any detoxification patch, the detox patch, the candida patch, the parasite patch. You can have a Herxheimer reaction. So start with 1, never do over 2. But he required that. So he had the 3 pain, the 3 Healing XL, and the 3 OLE, and he probably did it for about 3 months or more, but it brought him back to health.
Wow. Okay, that's really good information to have. Yeah, I didn't realize you could do. I did know, like, I've had people do like two, like of the pain and inflammation or something like that.
Right.
But that's really good news. The thing that you don't want is, okay, so he was doing three, three, and three. So that's 9, but you don't want 9 different ones. You want to stick with a
No.
maximum of 4 different ones.
Well, we try to stay with 3, but like, for instance, if they test for, or they're on a stress and anxiety, a pain, and a fibromyalgia, you can add the emotional rescue, which is a stress related patch too. That would complement all, or the healing XL, you can add anything as a 4th patch. But don't do more than 4. We suggest 3, but don't do more than 4.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's really good.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about some of these other ones that that I've not been. Okay, so we talked about the blood sugar a little bit. How about the bone support?
Oh, so the bone support, that's so the bone support, it can help with healing of bones, with
Like if somebody had a fracture or something.
yes, it could help heal help the bone heal better, quicker. You know, you can put it right on that area.
Okay.
It probably wouldn't be bad for people with osteoporosis either, but it will help an area heal quicker.
So it must be doing something to help boost the collagen, something. Yes. So that is really good to know because occasionally that happens. A client or somebody will come in. I just fractured my foot. So that's the kind of patch that you would put right there if you can.
Right on the area where the pain is.
So what if they have a cast and they can just put it right on the cast?
Right on the cast. The frequencies extend out about 3 inches on each side, so it's fine.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's good to know. That's really cool. Now, energy balance, cleanse, prostate care. I wasn't aware of that one.
Yeah, we've had a prostate care. That's the interesting thing is when you go for a physical now, because I go for a physical every year, the doctor doesn't use a stethoscope to test your heart. They don't test your prostate. They don't put anything on. It's all. I said, wait a second, where's my prostate exam? Where's my EKG? Well, we don't do that anymore. And you have to really go to specialists now.
Yeah.
So when I got COVID, after COVID, I heard it affect heart. So I had to go to a heart specialist because my regular doctor, they don't do prostate exams anymore. So the prostate patch is as good as a preventative.
Okay. So that's good because a lot of guys do, I have a lot of men using the supplements like saw palmetto, pygeum, stinging nettle, pumpkin seed, flower pollen, and glutathione again. We do have a question from one of our attendees here. Can you talk about an osteoarthritis patch?
Well, what you want is the ultra joint. That's for
ultra joint. Okay.
Yeah. That's you want the ultra joint, and you can put that right on the spot where the pain is too. Now, if it's all over the body, then you're going to have to put it on the left shoulder. But if it's a specific area, or you put it on the left shoulder, but still put the ultra joint on specific spots where the arthritis is. Also, on the prostate care, I want to tell you, this is designed to reduce symptoms of enlarged prostate. These symptoms may range from trouble starting to urinate and urinating freely, the feeling that the bladder is not empty after urinating, it can address that, and the sudden urge to urinate.
Sure.
So that's a really good prostate. It's a really good for anyone over 50 to be on a prostate patch.
Yeah. Guys should definitely be doing something to make sure their prostate is staying healthy because that's a real Achilles heel in our day and age because of the huge hormone laden food supply we have and environment and even sunscreens full of synthetic estrogen and so.
No, I'm not on the ultra joint.
No. Yeah.
Well, he asked a question about the ultra joint.
Yeah.
He may not require a pain patch, but you can add a pain patch to that.
Okay.
Now,
so it could be a good combination, like the ultra joint and the pain and inflammation.
Yeah, in fact, I've had several doctors had one with lower chronic back pain, the other with chronic shoulder pain. We used the Ultra Joint, the pain, and the Relax CBD patch. And they said it was amazing. They were so severe, we used, because CBD is a big pain reliever.
Yes,
So,
that's right. Yeah.
so they said it worked tremendously, tremendously. Those three things.
What about help for Morton's? Another question. What about help for Morton's neuroma? On the foot. Are you aware of that? It's like
I'm not aware
an
of
inflamed nerve in the ball of the foot.
So again, probably you would want the pain and inflammation, and you try the nerve stem, but an ultra joint, even the nerve stem may help, and even an ultra joint may help.
Okay.
So your CBD will help with inflammation. The pain will help with inflammation as well. With tendons, like the ultra joint can actually help with tendons and arthritis. So
Okay. Connective tissue in general, kind of like, the chondroprotective. Let me ask you this. What about, I know that there are more than one patch that are programmed with frequencies of CBD, but you're saying
there are almost all of them.
Almost all of them have some component of that?
Yeah, almost all of our patches have the energetics of CBD, the energetics of coconut oil, and the energetics of frankincense.
Oh.
Almost all of them have that in there.
Wow.
Because they're so complementary to all therapies.
Isn't that interesting, everybody? I mean, I think that that's really fascinating. I have a question. What would one use for scoliosis and arthritis? Would that be similar to what you just said?
Yeah, the pain, the ultra joint. It's not going to cure it, but it could give them some relief. We don't cure anything.
Right.
We educate.
Right, but sometimes people have like scoliosis. If you didn't get if you didn't get a brace or surgery when you were young, scoliosis you're going to have it. Nothing the patch isn't going to change that. But having to live with the pain, if you can get that gone.
You might try the CBD, the Relax patch. You might try the Relax patch.
Okay, so I didn't realize that the Relax is basically a CBD patch.
It's a total CBD patch.
Oh.
Total complete CBD.
Wow, I'm learning along with everybody else. I'm going to order some more of those then.
Like for instance, I had a bone infection here, and that Relax patch, it just went away. It just went. Wow. The bone infections are hard to get rid of, and I had TMJ, a little TMJ, and I would put on that pain would just go away. It's what I needed. And I did use the pain patch, but the Relax patch really, I'll tell you another thing. So we have a practitioner, his son had pain, at 15 years old, had pain in one of his legs. They went to 20 different clinics, including the Mayo Clinic. They could not find anything wrong. The only thing that helps them is the Relax patch.
Wow, that's fantastic. I have another question from someone. If I'm allergic to coconut, nothing severe, will that still be good?
No, it won't. It won't affect an allergy at all. It's signatures. It's not the same. It won't.
I think that's an important distinction for everybody to know. Right. Okay. So it's not putting any coconut into your body. It is putting in the signatures of what coconut does. Right. Is that?
It's the energetic signatures of coconut.
Yeah.
Oil. It's to provide the re-education. But it's not going to, if you're allergic to coconut, you're not going to start sneezing if you put a patch on.
Yeah, which is another thing I love about them is you don't have to worry about that. And you can use these patches with little children. You don't have to worry at all. And we see remarkable things like with somebody with hyperactivity or, attention issues. I use certain nutrients and we add the patch. Right. If I have somebody with a traumatic brain injury, I use the specific nutrients, and then we add maybe the frontal lobe or the great brain, and then the adult mental focus, or if it's a child. And wow, what a difference that can be made. And it's so important because if you have a traumatic brain injury, the sooner you fix things, the better off you.
Let me in fact tell you a story. So we have a patch called the Great Brain Patch, but it's not on the website, it's not in the book.
But I do carry it and people get it from me.
So that's for the overall gray matter of the brain. So we had one doctor that her daughter was in an car accident. And so she was in and out of a sleep wouldn't say it was a coma, but for a couple weeks. So she said then that brain really pulled her out of it. But when she came out of it, every time she put the Great Bane patch on there, she said, "Oh, Mom, I could feel that patch. I can feel that. I could feel it when you put that on."
Like better.
Yeah, in fact, I was about 14 years ago, I was having a pain in my wrist and a pain in my ankle on and off, and for about 3 years. So when I tried the Great Brain Patch, it just went away. So I don't know. I don't think I was having any TIAs or anything, but it just went away. It just it messed something in my brain.
Right.
Away.
So we do have a few patches that are not on my website and are not on your website. But I do carry them. So if you're interested in those, one is called the Parkinson's patch, which I use with several people. It works. I've seen it work well with people with Parkinson's, but also with people who just might have a familial or an intention tremor or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's a nice complement to.
Yes. So with the Parkinson's patch, generally, most people, not all, have a very quick reaction to that. And it could subside. It's not going to cure Parkinson's, but it's going to subside the symptom. It's going to lower the
and the motor symptoms associated. So what I will often do is I have a drawer of unopened packages of these patches. And, what I'll often do if something is like, if something is something that somebody will know right away if it's going to work, rather than have them buy a whole packet of, say, motion sickness, I'll give them 2 or 3 patches to try.
Right. That's why you perforate, so you can.
Yeah, they're perforated, so you can try it. And I'll do the same thing like with the Parkinson's patch for people with a tremor that's not Parkinson's, just to see, rather than say, have a whole month's worth and it doesn't, you're going to know pretty quick. You're going to know within a week, 10 days, whether it's making a difference. Something like that.
That's a great patch, the Parkinson's patch.
Yeah.
It's a great patch. Not every doesn't help, but most of it seems to. And hopefully it would slow down to the progression. Also, you could put a Healing XL patch it too.
I have a really stellar, really potent Parkinson's protocol, which is fairly complex, but all of my, I will say all of my Parkinson's people are doing incredibly better than what is expected.
Right.
And the Parkinson's patch, I love to add into all of that. Yeah.
And then you had some other patches, interesting patches, like the MLE. You want to know about the MLE?
Yeah, because I know about the male one and the fem one, but the MLE, tell me about that one.
So the MLE is actually a pheromone patch. So if you have a couple, or a married couple, you put one on each shoulder, and it doesn't just improve the relationship on a sexual level. It also seems to do it on an emotional level as well. It's a very interesting patch.
So you have you have one for men and one for women.
We have a male patch and a femme patch. So those are not adding or taking away hormones. It's balancing.
But does that contain the frequencies of the pheromones?
No, that's only in the MLE patch. But with that said, each of those patches has cordyceps in it. Are you familiar with cordyceps?
Yes.
So cordyceps can help with erectile dysfunction. It helps with the circulation.
Mm-hmm.
So those 3 patches all have energetic cordyceps in them.
So if you had this married couple, like you were talking about, or a couple, and they put, so the MLE patch would be for both the man and the woman?
MLEs for both couples, yes.
Oh, okay. And so pheromones is people, some people might not know, but that's like that scent that attracts. Like I was watching this wildlife thing the other day, and oh my goodness, it was so gross. It was an elk, and he was like urinating all over himself because it drives the females wild. So pheromones are those things that are hormones that we pick up if somebody's got them, around us. So you're saying that this is like a pheromone patch.
It is a pheromone patch, and we just recently added cordyceps to them. That helps the experience as well. We also have a patch. We have a circulation hypertension patch, but we also have it's not in the book, but we also have a circulation patch. And,
why is it in the book?
Well, it was made specially for a doctor that wanted a patch strictly for circulation. But we've had some doctors take that who had erectile dysfunction, and you put it on your abdomen, one on each side. They say it helps.
Well, I've used it successfully with the circulation hypertension one.
Oh, you did. This will be stronger for circulation.
Okay, so I can get that from you like I can the other ones that
Yeah,
are.
you have to call me
Okay.
for. It was a patch he requested, so we increased. We just made one specifically for circulation.
Oh, well, I'll be getting that, folks.
Okay.
All right, now, what about a TBI, traumatic brain injury with vision problems as a result? I
Well,
know.
again, I want to do, well, let me also say, we have a frontal lobe patch that's on our
Yes.
website.
Yeah, I did mention that. Yeah.
You can add the great brain too, if you'd like, but the great brain seems to address the frontal lobe as well, because the doctor that had a car accident, her daughter had car accident, that was her problem, was the frontal lobe. So it helps the front, but you could do a frontal lobe patch. And
But what about the vision patch? Would the vision patch do
vision
anything
patch,
with that?
yeah, add that. That's an incredible patch. That is a wonderful patch. Because my eyes strain. In fact, I have my blue light blocking glasses I put over because the strain of the computer is just so much for me. I put that patch on, and I could feel my eyes strengthen. It also helps, slowly helps with floaters. And if a little light gets in the corner of my eyes, I'll see stars. I'll put that patch on. It's amazing.
Well, you
Now-
did that right before this program. You said I got to go grab my blue
Yeah, I
light
had to go
blockers
go
and
like
my
a
vision
father.
patch and my vision patch.
To get
Yeah.
my glasses. So there was something about the vision patch I wanted to tell you, and I just lost my mind. But that's an incredible patch.
Now she was asking about the vision problems that were a result of the TB of the traumatic brain injury.
I don't know that it'll improve their vision. It's basically to strength. Oh, that's what I want to tell you. Basically, it addresses macular degeneration.
Okay.
So I don't know that it'll improve her vision. It's very difficult to do that.
Yeah.
Someone has macular degeneration, it can.
Yeah.
And now what's happening with all these kids looking at their iPads or computers or iPhones, especially the iPhones in bed, they're going to get macular degeneration. That patch is a good preventative.
Yeah. I've got my blue light blockers too. In fact, if you look at the reflection, you can see that I do in my lenses.
Yeah, so you have progressive lenses and you don't have any bifocals. See, I can't use progressive. They make me nauseous. I
Yeah.
have to bifocal.
Put on a motion sickness patch, Dan.
Well, I just can't tolerate them. I start
Yeah.
to see double vision. And so I have to, they can't put it in bifocal. So I use blue light blocking glasses. Over.
Yeah. Well, that's good. You put it right over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Wow, we've had some good participation, some good questions.
Let's see what else you asked about.
Yeah.
So if we got the FEM. Okay.
The biodefense. So that's like for not getting sick with things that are bacterial based.
Yeah, the biodefense pass is designed to support your body's key immune responses and encourages the body to defend itself against pathogenic invaders. But also, when COVID came out, we developed immune support because the immune system comes from the gut. So that's a new patch we came out with COVID to address the gut.
Uh-huh.
But the biodefense is a really good patch too. You can use both of them.
And then you have one for like viral, which is the VIR.
Yeah, the viral patch. So
E-virus guard or E-virus guard is one too.
Well, the viral patch was our original virus patch, and this is designed to support a normal, healthy immune system by addressing viral issues. It helps relieve headache, vomiting, joint pain, and caused by pathogens. But the E-virus guard is for your more advanced flus. This is designed for advanced type flus. It's designed to stimulate the immune system for it's for advanced new viral strains that are come out.
Wow. I mean, I think that a lot of people would be interested in that because there's such the worry about the new mutations of, you know what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the virus strains, it was for more, because we're just getting so many new things. It's for more advanced flus.
That's really great to know. Yeah. That's another one on my list. I just placed a order Friday. I got to place another order for some of these that I haven't carried before. And I'm so glad I had the chance to.
Yeah, and then the AOX antioxidant, That's just an overall antioxidant patch with berries, green tea, chili pepper, vitamins, minerals, beta carotene. It's just a great overall patch for the overall health. It's just a really good patch. The AOX, now we have the mitocell restoration patch, which is a mitochondria patch. And that's where all these anti-aging doctors are very much.
Oh, sure.
And I'll take that mitochondria patch and put it right at the base of my neck, and it just wakes me up.
Mhm.
That patch just wakes me up. That's
Yeah,
a good
the mitocell. It's great. I've been, you have to address mitochondria. We start to make less efficient mitochondrial energy around age 30. And so it's it's been called the decline of life's energy, or DOL. And so I do a lot. I used to use the mitocell patch. I'm using methylene blue now, which is a huge mitochondrial energy optimizer. Oh yeah, that's what you should do. You guys should develop a methylene blue patch, and you should develop an indium patch. Oh, those are two things. I'll put those bugs in your ears.
Methylene. Well, I'll write down and see if we have any patches with methylene blue. And
I don't think you do. Indium. I'm sure you don't, but you might if I give you put a little bug in your ear. You never know. Maybe next year.
I'll ask about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
We have the 5G personal defense tower coming out.
Oh yeah. Explain that.
So this is a defense tower to protect you against 5G, 4G, 3G. You take this tower, you set it in your car or on the sofa, anywhere you want. It creates a 25-foot barrier around you, up and down, like a circular barrier around you, protecting you from 5G, 4G, 3G, but primarily designed for 5G.
Yeah. And when are you going to have those available?
We've ordered 100 of them. They'll be in about a month or two.
Okay.
So
I'll let you know when those are available.
Okay.
But yeah, so this is wonderful. We have reached our hour point here. I want to thank you again, Dan, so much for being my guest.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. And I would just say to everybody, thanks for being here and for all of the questions, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I just put out a brief newsletter this morning for those of you who get my newsletter. Well, all of you attending do. And I'll be doing another fun Thanksgiving prep with some other health news and stuff this afternoon while I'm just cozy at home. And so you'll get a second one from me. But happy Thanksgiving to you, Dan. And all right. And I'll be in touch Monday with another order.
Okay. Call me when you need me.
I sure will.
Okay. Have a good weekend.
One thing I want to say about you is this is a great thing about you. Many times I've had a client in my office and I'm like, I'm wondering what would be the appropriate thing. And 9 times out of 10, if I call you, you pick up the phone or you call me like within 2 minutes and help me. So I have to say, when you say, call me if you need me, I do. And you always respond. And I'm so grateful.